Welcome. Today we're going somewhere pretty dark. We're looking at these real life stories, these accounts from people who were right on the edge of, well, an abduction. And somehow, whether it was luck or just pure survival instinct, they got away. It's genuinely chilling stuff. It really makes you think, doesn't it? About how danger can just appear out of nowhere in places you think are safe or even from people you might initially trust. We're drawing these stories from personal accounts shared over on the YouTube channel Lazy Masquerade. And our goal here for you is to really unpack them. Not just tell the stories, but look for the patterns, the psychology behind the predator's actions and the huge impact these near misses have. So, yeah. Be prepared. It's unsettling, but important, I think.
Absolutely. And what's so striking right from the start is how these stories hit such a raw nerve. It's that primal fear, isn't it? They kind of tear down that feeling of safety we all like to have, showing that threats aren't always, obvious monsters. Sometimes they're insidious. They can wear a uniform or offer help or even be someone you actually know.
Exactly. Okay, let's dive into the first one. This happened back on Christmas Day, 2015. Picture this. A family, husband, wife, their two little kids, Tyler, who was 3, and Margot, 6. They're driving from New Orleans to Tulsa for the holidays. But a detour forces them onto this unfamiliar road, TX-77, late at night. The dad said it just turns and turns and you have to pay attention. Really isolated. They hadn't seen another car for miles. Then, maybe 40 minutes outside Atlanta, Texas, this police car appears. Way back. It follows them for a bit. The dad said it seemed a little odd during the middle of the night, but not creepy. They check their speed, lights, everything seems fine. But then the siren flashes, so naturally they pull over.
Like anyone would. You see the lights, you stop.
Right. The officer walks up, father rolls down the window, asks, "Is there a problem, officer?"
Yeah.
And the officer says calmly, "Your license plate fell off."
Okay, that's unusual. Bit flimsy, maybe.
Yeah, the dad thought it was weird too. They'd just checked everything. But then the officer looks past him at the kids. He asks, "Are these your children?" Then focuses on the daughter. "Your daughter is beautiful. Is she for sale?"
Whoa. Just
Whoa.
straight out with it.
Just like that. Can you imagine the shock? The father is completely stunned, just manages to say, excuse me.
That's the tactic, right? Shock and disorientation.
Yeah.
Using the uniform as cover for something monstrous.
Absolutely. And the officer just repeats it coldly. "Is she for sale? I'll take good care of her." The air must have just frozen.
That's the moment the predator relies on. That pause, that disbelief. We're conditioned to trust the uniform, and that clashes violently with the horror of the words. It can make you freeze.
But the father didn't completely freeze. He asks to see a badge, maybe trying to buy time or verify.
Reasonable request.
The officer says, "Yes, sir." But instead of a badge, he pulls a gun
Oh, God.
and demands, "Give me your girl."
Your terror.
Instinct just took over. The father pretends he's reaching back for his daughter, Margot, but then he just floors it, slams the accelerator on their old car.
Fight or flight. He chose flight.
Thankfully, the police car didn't follow. They just drove, adrenaline pumping, until they saw the lights of a Pizza Hut. They ran inside, shaking, told the staff, called the real police.
And did the police find anything?
Nothing. They got no answers. They ended up staying in a motel nearby, just haunted by what almost happened, thinking about how this could have ended.
It's terrifying. And that lack of answers afterwards just adds another layer of unease, doesn't it? It shows how vital trusting your gut is, even when faced with supposed authority.
Yeah, gut feeling over authority. That theme really carries into our next story. This one's from the other side of the world, West Australia. An 18-year-old backpacker. She mentions she always looked a few years younger, which might have made her seem more vulnerable. It's January, boiling hot, remote area, and her rental car runs out of gas.
Stranded. Not a good situation.
No. She has a spare fuel can, but she can't get it open. So she starts walking back towards some shops she'd passed earlier in that crazy heat. That's when a guy in an ATV pulls up outside a shop. He kind of nods towards where she came from, says something like, "Car trouble, huh? Nobody walks from that way." He's described as a nice-looking bloke, charming smile, calls himself Charlie, and he easily opens her fuel tank for her.
The helpful stranger archetype.
Exactly. Then he offers her a lift back to her car. Says it's too hot to walk, no ozone layer, Seems friendly, helpful. But she hesitates. She says she felt a bit stupid hesitating, but had this uneasy feeling in her stomach. You know that feeling.
Oh, yeah. The internal alarm bell, even when there's no obvious reason for it.
Right. And Charlie picks up on it, puts a hand on her shoulder, smiles that charming smile again. "I'm not the boogeyman, I promise you. Just don't want anyone walking in this heat." Gives her the helmet. So she gets on the ATV, fuel can in front of her. He tells her, just tap my shoulder if you want me to slow down. Seems considerate. It's classic manipulation, isn't it? Playing on social niceties, making you feel obligated or rude for refusing help, overriding that gut instinct.
And it worked, initially. But then, he drives right past her car.
Ah, there it is.
She taps his shoulder. Nothing. Taps again, harder. He just speeds up. And she catches him grinning in the rearview mirror.
Chilling. The mask slips.
Total terror sets in. She realizes she's trapped, going way too fast to jump off. She has no idea where he's taking her, but she knows it's bad. This goes on for, she estimates, at least 30 terrifying minutes.
An eternity in that situation.
Absolutely. But then they approach a rest stop. She sees a truck parked there. It's her only chance. Adrenaline just kicks in. She reaches around, grabs his throat with both hands and squeezes as hard as she possibly can.
Wow. Just pure survival mode. He's choking, struggling to control the ATV. He's forced to stop. The second they stop, she throws herself off, rips the helmet off, and just starts screaming her lungs out. Loudly enough to wake the dead, she said. And from the truck emerges this huge guy. Terrifying looking, she described him. Beard, built like a grizzly. He comes over, demands to know what's going on. She points at Charlie, crying, saying he tried to kidnap her. The grizzly man lunges for Charlie, but Charlie manages to scramble away, disappearing into the bush.
He got away.
He got away. But the big guy, the grizzly man, turns out he was a really nice guy. He called the police, stayed with her until they arrived. Her big takeaway. Since that day, I don't judge by appearance.
What a story. It perfectly shows how predators use charm to disarm, but also how crucial trusting and acting on that gut feeling is, even violently, if necessary. And the grizzly man being the hero. It just completely flips stereotypes, doesn't it? Danger can look friendly, and safety can look intimidating. You just don't know.
You really don't. And that idea, the threat hiding behind a familiar face, or at least a trusted role, that takes an even darker turn in our third story. This one hits close to home, literally. It's about betrayal within a family. This account is from a 20-year-old woman looking back. She only found out recently that she was nearly kidnapped by a relative when she was just a baby, almost 1 year old.
By a relative? That's deeply disturbing.
Yeah. So the scene P is a family trip to the mall. The baby, her mom, her sister, her grandmother, and her great-aunt. This great-aunt was closer in age to the mom, more like a sister figure. The great-aunt offers to take the baby shopping for a bit, give the mom a break, but the mom was hesitant. She didn't trust a lot of people to take me alone, apparently due to some past trauma or heartbreak. But it was her aunt. She loved her, trusted her, mostly.
That internal conflict, trust versus a nagging doubt.
So she agrees, but sets a rule. Stay in the store right next door and check in every 30 minutes.
A reasonable precaution.
30 minutes go by, no check-in. The mom goes next door, the aunt and the baby are gone. Vanished. She asks the store staff, nobody saw them leave. That's when the panic hits. Mom starts freaking out, calls mall security immediately.
Smart move. Quick action.
Mall security acts fast, puts the whole mall on lockdown. They find them soon after. The baby is discovered in a store's back room with my aunt trying to find some way to sneak us out.
In a back room, trying to sneak out. That's not just wandering off. That's intent.
Exactly. This wasn't an accident. It was deliberate. The mom grabbed the baby, went straight home, and got a restraining order against her own aunt.
But did she press charges?
No, she never pressed charges. Maybe it was too hard, the family dynamics, the shock. We don't know why. They cut contact.
That's a tough situation. The emotional weight of accusing family.
Incredibly tough. Years pass. The aunt eventually moves to Florida, lives with another great aunt named Cassie. Then, a few years later, Aunt Cassie is found dead. Foul play was suspected. And the perpetrator aunt, the one who tried to take the baby, she disappeared. Never found to question and is still free somewhere.
Wow. That just casts the original incident in an even more sinister light.
It does. And the mother, the narrator's mom, she lives with this crushing guilt, believing that if she had pressed charges back then, maybe Aunt Cassie would still be alive. She feels she could have prevented my Aunt Cassie's death.
That is a heavy burden to carry. It's a devastating example of how failing to act against a known threat within a family, however difficult, can have horrific ripple effects down the line. The betrayal is profound, and the consequences in this case were tragic.
It's truly heartbreaking. Okay, our final story tonight. This one is just bone-chilling proximity to evil. We're going back to May 1999. A church group, 6 teenage girls, 3 moms were on a big mission trip, road trip. driving from Riverside, California, up to Mount St. Helens in Washington. They're hitting all the landmarks, staying in noteworthy towns. Part of their trip includes Yosemite National Park. They stay for 3 nights at a place called the Cedar Lodge. While they're in Yosemite, though, their van, an old Chevy, just dies. Middle of nowhere, stranded. Someone does stop to help relatively quickly, thankfully, but here's the creepy part. When the owner got the van looked at later, the mechanic told them somebody tampered with the engine, done intentionally.
Intentionally, not just a breakdown.
Intentionally messed with. They had to ditch the van, rent another one, and continue the trip. At the time just seemed like bizarre, terrible luck.
Okay, intentional tampering sets off alarm bells. That's not random.
No. And years later, the narrator pieces something horrifying together. She realizes that the maintenance man working at the Cedar Lodge when they were staying there was Cary Stayner, also known as the Yosemite Killer.
No, they were staying at the lodge while he was working there.
Yes, and get this. By the time they arrived, Stayner had already murdered and decapitated a park employee.
So he was already active.
And then, just 1 month after this church group left the Cedar Lodge, Stayner used his maintenance access to get into another room there. He abducted, assaulted, and murdered a woman, her teenage daughter, and the daughter's friend. Decapitated them too, right there at the lodge.
My God. The proximity.
Oh.
It's terrifying. They were sleeping just doors away, potentially, from an active, brutal serial killer.
And that intentionally tampered with engine. It suddenly seems much more sinister, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Was he trying to strand them? Disable their escape route? It fits a potential pattern of isolating victims. We can't know for sure, but the possibility is horrifying, giving him access as the maintenance guy.
The narrator thinks about it constantly. He could have easily knocked on one of our doors, she says, and decided he wanted to abduct and kill us.
Just random chance separated them from becoming his next victims.
She says, I feel incredibly lucky to have dodged that bullet. It continues to haunt me all these years later. You can only imagine. Okay, so bringing these all together.
Yeah.
The fake cop, Charlie the helpful stranger, the great aunt at the mall, the killer maintenance man. What ties these incredibly different, terrifying scenarios together?
Well, it's that unpredictability, isn't it? Danger doesn't announce itself. It can wear a uniform, a smile, a familiar face, or just be silently present, like Stayner. And in almost every case, there was that flicker of intuition, that uneasy feeling, the hesitation, the questioning of authority, even the mom's initial reluctance.
Yeah, that gut feeling and the need for quick, decisive action when things go wrong, whether it's flooring the gas pedal, fighting back physically, or calling security immediately.
Exactly. These stories aren't just about the horror. They're about survival instincts kicking in. They underscore the need for situational awareness. But maybe more importantly, the need to trust ourselves. We're often taught to ignore that nagging feeling, to be polite, to trust authority. But these accounts show that listening to that inner voice, that dissonance when something feels off, can literally save your life.
It's a powerful message. These are raw, real experiences, and they leave scars, that haunting what if. But they also show incredible resilience.
They really do. It's about learning to read situations, yes, but also learning to trust that internal alarm system we all have.
So, these stories, they're chilling, cautionary, but also maybe empowering in a strange way. Reminders to stay alert, trust our instincts. And here's something to really think about. In a world where danger can hide so well behind a friendly mask or a position of trust, what are those tiny, subtle cues we might miss? How do we get better at noticing them? And maybe more importantly, how do we find the courage to act decisively when our gut screams that something is terribly wrong, even if everything looks normal on the surface?
That's the core question, isn't it? Cultivating awareness and the courage to act on it.
Definitely something to carry with you. Thank you for joining us for this pretty intense deep dive today. We really hope reflecting on these stories offers some valuable perspective, however unsettling. If you found this exploration compelling, please do us a favor, like this. Share it with someone who might appreciate it, and subscribe to Horror Docs. We dive into chilling realities like this regularly.
Your support helps us keep bringing these stories and insights to light.
Until next time, please stay safe out there. And listen to that gut feeling. It might just matter more than you know.